Hello again, welcome to Homeskills. Today I'm going to be showing you the Pushfit system for plumbing, which takes all of the anguish and all of the pressure out of plumbing in your sink, your washing machine or any other machines that need water to run them. So I'm going to start off with showing you some of the materials and some of the tools. This system is so easy and there's no threat of a leak. You haven't got to worry about soldering with a blowtorch, with heat, or burning the back of the area you're working in. This is simply almost a jigsaw of plumbing. So I'm going to show you a couple of the parts that we use and a couple of the tools we use, which are very minimal, but one of the tools you have to use is very important, because to cut the pipe, which I'm going to show you here, it has to be an absolutely smooth cut. So this is the tool that I want to show you. You can get this at most plumbing, most hardware stores, and it will take the work out of cutting. No hacksaws, no other way of, this is the simplest way. I'm just going to show you now so that you'll understand what I'm talking about. You just place the pipe on, close the clamp up and squeeze, and there you have it. A perfect cut. No frays, no edges to smooth off, absolutely perfect cut. But that's a tool that you must have to do this job. I'm going to show you some of the fittings now. They might look a bit strange, but they are so simple to use, and they have inner core. I can show you. There's an inner core with a rubber seal, and when you push the pipe in, it just grabs and holds, and you don't have to worry at all. It's 100%, you know, it really is a good system and easy, as I say, easy to use. So first of all, you need to mark up on a wall with your level where your pipes are going to go. So if you take your level, find yourself your line, and mark a faint line, continue along for the length that you're going to do. That'll be fine. And the next stage of the process, we need to fix on these pipe clips. So there are various ways of doing. If you're going to use plasterboard, then these are the plugs that I use. They're a self-tapping plug that cuts directly into the plasterboard. You can do it by hand, or as I will, I'll use my drill. Is here. So these really don't need any pre-cutting. They just literally push into the plasterboard and then drill slowly, and in they go. And that's as simple as it is. No mess, no dust. It just cuts in. The dust it takes through the board and into the other side, so you don't have any problems at all. So I'm going to put one of these in every foot. So we'll put in just 4 for this operation. The other thing I wanted to tell you about using a level, there are different ways. You can use the standard level, or for not very much money, a laser level, and it's very simple to use. You clamp it onto the wall like so. You can use an adhesive or even blue tack, and you line up the bubble so that it's level, and then press a switch, and there's your light. Hopefully you can see that anywhere you go, and it's ideal for hanging pictures anything at all really where you've got to get a straight line. For decorating, anything at all. But it's about £15, but it really is a lifesaver, and I use it all the time. But you can use the old style if that's what you have. It makes no difference. So we've got our plugs in, so we're ready to put our screws and our pipe clips. Now these raw plugs come with a screw included, so you can't use any other screw. You have to use the screws provided. But if you buy a bag of which I say you can get from any hardware store, any plumbing merchants, they'll come in a bag with the screw plugs and with the screws as well. But they're the only ones that fit this particular plug. So I'm now going to take my pipe clip. The screw goes through like so. It's recessed. If you can see that, it's recessed so the screw goes down into the bottom and doesn't interfere with the pipe at all. By the way, this pipe can be used with copper as well as plastic. But remember, if you're using copper and you're soldering, to be far enough away, because the heat will travel along the copper pipe and melt this. So beware, just to leave it enough space so that the heat doesn't cause a problem. So now I'm just going to screw the clip to the wall. You can use a handheld screwdriver or an electric screwdriver, the same as I'm using, but just be careful not to over tighten. Okay, so we put one clip in. We're going to continue with the same. As I say, you can do this by hand, but it is a lot easier. You don't have to have this type of drill that you see I'm holding. There are smaller ones and a lot less expensive than this one, but you may find it's a good investment. So we put the last one in. And there we are. And also, if as you go along and you do your clips one after another, if you are using a laser level, if you switch it on, you'll see that if you can see the light, every one is in line. So you don't have to keep on going back on it. You can see each one is in line with the laser, so you know you're perfectly straight. Okay. Now we're going to come to the pipe itself, and this is the pipe that most people, most plumbers will use, but as I say, this is so simple that you really can do this at home yourself. It really isn't an issue. So first of all, I'm going to cut a length of pipe using these cutters, once again because they give such a good cut. So we're going to cut through. And this is the section we're going to use. One of the other parts that you have to use is a metal insert. It's called a collar, and that will just pop inside the pipe, and the reason for that is that when you push this into your connector, it will go in and it will stop the pipe from collapsing. And the other thing we have to do before we put the pipe in is this is called silicone lubricant grease. It won't perish the pipe or do any damage to the pipe, and you need to just have a little bit on your finger and around the pipe, and all it does is aid with ease when it goes into the pipe. Take your fitting, open it 1/2 turn, push it until you feel it stop at the end. Tighten just to a finger tight, and that's your pipe. Okay, so I'm going to continue with the other side. I'm going to pop this in to the clip. We won't lock it off at the moment. And then we need our next piece of pipe. Okay, so I'm going to show you the parts of the actual fitting. You can see that that is going to pop in there. There is a metal collar, there is a plastic ring, a rubber O-ring and a plastic ring. So that makes the insert 100%. So what we need to do is to just clip in the pipe into the pipe clips, clip in the pipe on this end, and then it's just a matter of pushing the whole thing together. So then we do the same thing with this pipe. The collar inside, don't forget, I'm just going to show you the collar inside the pipe, the silicone, and just push them home, and you'll feel when it goes in, it's quite a snap, so you will know that it's home. And then just tighten up and we're ready to go, and we're ready to put our connecting pipes in now. So here we are. This is where we're going to put our upstand pipe, which is the supply for your water, for your washing machine, dishwasher, taps. Now don't forget, once again, to put the insert inside. We put some silicone on, and that pops inside the pipe, and push it home until you feel it lock, and then we can put on our tap connector. Once again, don't forget to put your collar in, and then this pops on top. The olive goes on, the pipe goes on top, and don't over tighten it because it's a plastic pipe and we don't want to cut into it, so just tighten it finger tight and then give it a turn with your adjustable spanner. Same again with this end, and don't forget, when we put these pipes in, we have to have a pipe clip in there. So align your pipe up, use your pencil, mark behind the pipe where you need to go, fix the clip in, and then clip in your pipe, and that will hold it steady and solid. Then we got, this is the washing machine valve, so that will just pop on top. Tighten it up, do not over tighten it so that that cuts into the plastic, but just tight enough. You've got the valve which is closed when it's across the thread, and to open it, that's your water supply. That also comes with a red tap. You can change them over. It's just a screw and change it over, so if it's hot or cold, or you can use whatever one you want to for your supply. And then the beauty of this system is you can rotate it if you need your water supply to go down. You can even have it if you need it to go straight out. Any position you can use. So don't forget, the clip goes in and the fitting pipe goes into the pipe clip, like so. This is your tap connector, flexible tap connector. They're mostly standard now and flexible for that reason. So if you make a mistake, you can move it over for either side. That pops on and tightens, not over tightening because it is a plastic pipe. So it tightens, and that's ready to connect to your taps. I'm going to remove this tap connector. And if you're doing a system where you're not going to connect it for a few days, you can use this. It's called a cap, and that just goes on the same and pushes down, and you can remove that when you're ready to do your final connections. It really is a jigsaw and very easy to do. You just have to follow the guidelines. Remember to use the collar inserts in the pipe before you assemble it. Use the lubricant, silicone lubricant grease, for ease of access when you push them together. And it really is a system that I think a competent DIYer can do and feel that he's done a good job. And I think it's a very easy system to put in your home.